It will be a number of days before the Electoral Commission completes the count. I remain quietly confident that a majority coalition government will be returned at this election when the counting is completed. The Electoral Commission has advised that it will resume the counting of ballot papers on Tuesday. Now, the reason the result was not clear last night was that around a third of Australians voted in pre-polling or via a postal vote. A very high percentage, and one that has been getting higher at each election. Now, a number of the pre-polls, the absentee votes and all the postal votes are yet to be fully counted, and that will determine the result in as many as 12 undecided seats. And there may be recounts in other close contests, and I suspect that we will see seats moving from one side of the ledger to the other until the count is completed at the end of the week. Now, as you know, our experience is that these postal votes and pre-poll votes indeed traditionally favour Liberal and National Party candidates, especially when they are incumbents. So if that trend were to be manifest again here, that is likely to deliver majority government to the coalition, but time will tell. And so we will have to await the outcome of the counting. I want to pay tribute to the members that were not returned at this election. I've spoken to them today, and I thank them and their families for their dedication and service to the nation. And I welcome to the Parliament those candidates newly elected. Some very, very talented and outstanding Australians are joining the Parliament. And I know that, in addition, above all, Australians seek greater certainty, greater clarity, stability in their government. While the count will take a number of days, probably till the end of next week, I can promise all Australians that we will dedicate our efforts to ensuring that the state of the new Parliament is resolved without division or rancour. The expectation is on all of us, especially me, as Prime Minister, to get on with the job. And Australians have my absolute commitment as Prime Minister that I'll be working to that goal. As I said in the campaign only a few days ago, we need to demonstrate to Australians that their Parliament can work to achieve the outcomes this nation needs on the issues that matter to Australians. And I believe there are aspects of this election result, not finally counted, but certainly apparent at this stage, which demonstrate that Australians have an appetite for a step up in political culture. They expect us to have a workable and effective Parliament so we can get done what needs to be done. Now, my absolute focus as Prime Minister is on delivering for Australians, for the people of Australia, the certainty, the stability, the leadership that they need and they expect from their government and from their Parliament.
Will you be reaching out to the crossbenchers in the lower house and in the upper house now that we have the possibility of a hung Parliament?
Well, I have certainly spoken to many of the crossbenchers today. I've had a lot of telephone calls today, obviously, with my colleagues who have been unsuccessful in the election, were not returned, and colleagues whose fate is uncertain because the count is so close. I've spoken to many colleagues. I have spoken to a number of the crossbenchers, and what I've said to them is what I say to you now, that we remain confident we will be able to form a majority government, and in those circumstances, or indeed in any circumstances, we always seek to work constructively with all of the members of the Parliament, as indeed we have sought to do in the past.
Does this political uncertainty put our AAA credit rating at risk, and what are you and the Treasurer doing to prevent this affecting the markets?
This is why it's very important. Thanks, Charles, for that question. That's why it is very important for me to explain what is happening at the moment. We are simply going through a process of completing a count. This is a, excuse me, let me finish answering Charles. We are completing a count, which will take a few more days. In the meantime, the government is led, the government is in operation. Of course, the caretaker conventions apply. We will have a resolution by the end of the week. I've no doubt about that. And what we will do is ensure that we work constructively and effectively with all of the members of the new parliament to ensure that we deliver the stability and the leadership that Australians expect.
So, Prime Minister, on that point, can I ask on that particular point, is an early election?
Sorry, it was really, someone was talking over the top of you. Can you start again?
I understand. On the point you were making, is a second election one possible outcome of a hung parliament, or does your appeal to reconciliation here mean you are committed to making the parliament Australians have now voted work at all costs?
Well, let me say that the parliament is elected by the Australian people, so it is their parliament. We don't know the final composition of it at this stage. The counting has to be completed. When it is completed, as I said, we will work effectively, constructively, to ensure that we have a strong majority government, and we will work across the crossbenches as well if we need to do so. But it is very important to recognise that this is the people's house. The people have chosen the members of the parliament, and we will work with all of them to deliver the stability and the leadership that Australians expect.
No follow-up election?
We are committed to ensuring that the parliament, as elected, will work effectively and constructively for the Australian people.
Prime Minister, you've lost at least 3 members of your front bench, and Liberal Senator Chris Backer has already told me he believes you should return Tony Abbott to the ministry. Is that now on the table?
All of these questions these political questions are no doubt of great interest to you. My focus this week is on monitoring the count, and my focus this week is on
Prime Minister Tony Abbott to the front.
The ministry will be the same after this election as it is now. We've lost a number of ministers ministers have not been returned. You're right, but I'm not proposing to bring back any particular individuals. I know you're very interested in that. The focus is on completing the count, on ensuring we know who is in the parliament, and then we can settle the form of the government after that. That's the critical thing. What we have to do first is count, recognise and respect the decision of the Australian people. Now, just one more question.
Have you failed to deliver stability, Prime Minister? That was your promise.
The stability that will be delivered by the parliament will be assessed by all Australians after the parliament is elected and after the formation of a majority government, the formation of arrangements between members of parliament. It is absolutely critical that we complete the count, we identify who has been elected to the parliament, and then we will know. But right now, we need to recognise that the process is underway. There are, just to give you one example, there are over 1 million postal votes. The determination of which, or the choice of which, can determine a number of these seats that are very close. 1 million postal votes that have not been counted at all. So they've not been. They are a complete unknown in that respect. So there are a lot of votes there that remain to be counted. The counting has to be complete, but it is my commitment to the Australian people to do everything I can to ensure that the next parliament serves them. It's the Australian people's house. And what we have to do is to make sure that the next parliament serves the Australian people constructively, with stability, with leadership and with the vision that they expect. They have chosen the parliament, and it is our job now, once its members are determined, once its membership is determined, to ensure that we work with it as constructively and with as much stability as we can deliver. Thank you very much.